Gold Rush legend Parker Schnabel, the youngest genius to extract millions from frozen earth, no longer drives an excavator. Located behind lockable doors, Schnabel's gold empire was halted and sentenced to life in jail. No release, no appeals, in one of the worst environmental crimes in mining history. Parker started a mining company using his college fund, who transformed muck into television gold and made $24 million in season 14. However, his $16 million from this year is locked. Fans have one pressing question as his Dominion Creek allegations are investigated. How did TV's most disciplined, hardest-working miner go from legend to prison? Pressure is nothing new to Parker Schnabel. He started playing gold as a teenager. Over $13 million in gold was extracted by 24. His crew earned $24 million in Season 14. In Season 15, with gold prices at an all-time high, he should be fine. Instead, he's facing a financial collapse, a breakdown, and something deeper. Parker makes a life-changing decision between ounces and legacy. That's when the story turns to court. Parker set his goal at 10,000 ounces for this season. That was the goal. With gold prices, that's nearly $26 million. Very large. He required more than hard work to succeed. He needed serious volume, money, and no delays. He then did something that aroused eyebrows and alarms. Gold Run and Sulphur Creek were two enormous claims he bought for $2.5 million. These dirt patches were historic, top Klondike sites that produced $1.5 billion in gold over the previous century. But they were risky. Bare ground, unstable topography, unknown liabilities. Parker acted immediately. He aimed for grandeur. He was willing to risk everything. Parker had to move Bob, his biggest wash plant, from Ken and Stewart's claim to Sulphur Creek to make the additional claims operate. The 25-mile haul was his longest. His team has 10 hours to complete it. This is insanely tight. They almost succeeded. Bob was up and running after mechanics fixed broken parts, and Tyson Lee pushed logistics. Things seemed good briefly. Very good. Bob earned $766,000 in 4 days with 290.05 ounces. Parker's team reached 6,000 ounces with Roxanne's 276.01 ounces at elbow cut. The books show $16 million. Suddenly, the bet made sense. Behind the scenes, time was ticking. More problems arose when they went deeper at Dominion Creek and Bridge Cut. Parker's workhorse wash plant, Big Red, failed after 12 seasons and $53 million in gold. The tension bars broke, stopping the process. Over time, that plant earned 34,300 ounces. Now it was gone. Parker had no margin for error with Bob and Roxanne running. He needed everything to work, but it didn't. TV didn't show the legal trouble brewing. Parker made quick deals to enlarge his claims and get every last ounce before winter. Under a private deal, he bought neighboring claims without environmental evaluation. After his team started digging at Sulphur Creek, suspicions arose. Questions about permissions, waterway disruption, and hidden fuel tanks. Queries with unclear answers. Initially, a delayed inspection and a quiet government visit were red flags you may not have seen. As Parker continued to carry thousands of yards of gravel into protected zones 24/7, the red flags became subpoenas. The true bombshell followed. Parker was charged with willful environmental crimes by the federal government. Massive ones: unlawful dredging, stream disruption, waste disposal neglect, all linked to that $2.5 million land transaction. Upon further investigation, prosecutors found missing documents, permit overrides, and, worst of all, false inspection reports signed by subcontractors under Parker's direction. The show switched from ounces to evidence. Parker willfully took corners, ignored warnings, and endangered the environment and public safety to accomplish his 10,000-ounce objective, according to prosecutors. The numbers were terrible in court. Over 8,000 gallons of hydraulic fluid missing, 68 infractions, $3.1 million in unauthorized site improvements, and contaminated soil near equipment zones. Parker's defense attempted an emergency break. They said it was all a mistake, that subcontractors had failed, that missing permits were procedural delays, and that no crime was committed. When the emails were used in court, things became nasty. An previous season thread showed Parker pressing for uninterrupted production and encouraging his staff to ignore agent intervention. That message raised more than eyebrows. It kept recurring. Each time, the courtroom quieted. The case changed. One former crew member, who quit midway through the season, said Parker understood what he was doing. He was repeatedly warned about incomplete paperwork and probable violations. He continued anyhow. This wasn't a blame game anymore. The spotlight was on a stressed boss, doing whatever it takes to reach 10,000 ounce. The results were terrible. Pay dirt, environmental malfeasance, site damage, fraudulent inspection reports, and irresponsible excavation on federal land were charged. Not a mistake. It was patterned. A trend prosecutors characterized blatant disdain for regulation. When obstruction was added, things got worse and career-ending. Court wasn't shy. It sentenced Parker for the highest amount of environmental harm, shocking everyone. The twist. Despite scandal headlines, the sentence didn't describe the complete picture. Prison wasn't mentioned publicly. No dramatic mugshot or shameful walk. Parker slowly faded from the spotlight. Rumors spread. He was negotiating restitution, some suggested. Others stated he was in protective care, but nobody responded. Silence communicated more than anything. Parker Schnabel, Discovery Channel's golden boy, the boy who started mining as a teenager, who had drawn in more than $13 million worth of gold by 24, who led 8 spin-offs, including Gold Rush and Parker's Trail, which made $24 million in Season 14, said nothing. Strange part? Parker wasn't flashy. He never lived famously. He had no homes or luxury cars. He even slept on a friend's LA couch at his peak. He didn't buy status symbols. Instead, he spent money on memories, dad trips, hunting weekends with his gang, World Series tickets, and Vegas vacations. It was never about money. This was about loyalty and experience. His roots shaped that outlook. His great-grandpa made a living in Alaska. In 1937, his grandmother joined him. Every morning, his dad gets up at 4:30 to work. Parker was raised by individuals who persevered through grief and hardship. That shaped him. This made his fall so hard to see. He worked with his grandfather all summer, sharing meals every night, hearing generational tales. That memory he wished he documented was more meaningful to him than gold bars. Parker always knew money fades. Legacy mattered. Now, that legacy is threatened. Season 15 was meant to be his comeback, his breakthrough year, when he achieved 10,000 ounces and dominated the competition. Instead, some call it cursed season. Broken equipment, permission nightmares, and legal threats. All odds were against him. Parker focused on working harder, quicker, and smarter. But that wasn't enough. Something cracked under pressure. No one knows what follows. Legal reviews tie up his $16 million this season. Claims paused. This crew? Scattered. Some are silent. Others strive to hold things together. Parker is missing, so everything feels different. Parker bet the most on Dominion Creek. He bought the land instead of leasing it. That meant no monthly fees or royalties. It also put all the danger on him. He signed a $15 million upfront check with no refunds. That was just the start, because Dominion's gold wasn't surface level. The grave was over 40 feet deep. Equipment, fuel, labor, and time would cost millions more to reach it. The numbers suggested genius. Gold is estimated at 80,000 ounces for Dominion. At $2,000 per ounce, that's $160 million in the ground. Parker regarded it as a mine and a future. With 10,000 ounces a year over 6 seasons, he'd get there. That was the aim. That was the plan. There was a catch. Only 6 years remained on his water licenses and permits. No promises after that. All remaining land would be lost if authorities didn't renew the license. Parker performed his usual. He invested fully. Millions of soil were moved by his staff. 25 million bank yards during the claim. More than 4 million yards every season. Material expands when moved, increasing it to 30 million yards. That workload is overwhelming and stressful. Schedules slip, equipment breaks, crews wear out. Everyone feels the pressure. You felt it everywhere. Tyson Lee, Mitch Blaschke, and the crew were under pressure every week because this wasn't a lease. Safety nets were absent. All delays cost money. Parker lost $1 for every ounce they lost. For Parker, failure was unacceptable. Not after that check. With that timeline? No. Not when the operation depended on him keeping ahead. 10,000 ounces annually, no exceptions. Rewind a bit. Parker didn't get here using caution. From his 2010 Gold Rush Alaska debut, he showed his uniqueness. Parker focused on ground, strategy, and crew, while other miners bought trucks and toys. He earned $13 million in gold by 24. His haul reached $24 million by season 14, and the show followed him to the Klondike, Oregon, Colorado, and Guyana. Workhorse, planner, and fighter he was. Something changed in season 15. Both pressure and dominion changed the game. Parker acknowledged that pricing wasn't the main concern. It was losing his crew, downsizing, and slashing his original team. He prefers losing money to losing them.